Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Johnny Thomas Podcast. If you're out there listening all around the world, please come in, join the party. I want to talk about the moon. That's why I'm listening to Walking on the Moon by the Police, one of my favorite songs ever. Sing it, Sting. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, Alexa, pause. Let's talk about the moon. Okay, anybody mind? Yeah, you can see it flashing behind me on the screen, the moon. First of all, the moon should not be where it is. Does anybody realize that? It's the only planetary object that doesn't rotate. There's a reason why we can't see the dark side of the moon, everyone. Are you ready? It's a really tough one because they're smart and they don't want us to see it. That's why. They, them, the aliens, the entities, the EBEs, the ABCs, whatever you want to call whatever's out there in the realms of the unknown that we don't know. Because I'm just going to have to curse and just say nobody knows shit about shit because we don't know why we're here, where we're going, why you die, why you're born. Nobody knows anything. Nobody. That the general populace of us think. Unless there's people that do know that don't share it like a lot of other things on this planet. But if you're out there and you're listening, like I said, this is a new podcast, Johnny Thomas Podcast. Stay with me, everybody. Let's party together and talk about the moon tonight. The moon does weird things to people. If the moon wasn't there, we would not be here because of the tides and the ocean and everything else that the moon does solely in the universe. And yeah, that's why we don't see the dark side of the moon. Pink Floyd has an album about it. I'm going to probably play Pink Floyd sometime. Dark Side of the Moon. The Chandra spaceship that just arrived took some pictures. And I mean, if you really think about it, folks, come on. Really? We don't know anything. The government, I think this is just speculation. They probably have a moon base. And just remember, everyone, it's catch 22 like everything else. They protect us, the United States of America. They protect us, and you feel protected, but you also feel lied to. And you can't blame the government for lying to you because, think about it, a lot of the population would freak out. The world would turn to chaos instantly. People would be looting, shooting, killing each other probably. I don't want to say that, but I'm just going by past things in the past that have happened. Like, look at LA. I love LA, nothing personal, but look at the riots in LA with Rodney King, which was absolutely terrible. That's one of the just terrible things on the planet that happened. God bless everybody involved. But yeah, I mean, for that people were looting and stealing things around LA and causing fires and riots, that's not what we're here for, people. I mean, if you've ever helped someone in your life that really needed help, it feels good. That's why people help each other. Because it does feel good in the general populace, doesn't it? No matter what you do, you give them $1 to someone that needs it, 25 cents, anything. As soon as you give it, that's the way the world should be. All of us together. Okay? So back to the moon. All right? The moon shouldn't be where it is. It doesn't rotate because they don't want us to see the dark side of the moon because there are cities there, people. Just accept it. You go through your everyday, your jobs, you're at work, you don't think about things like this, but I'm telling you, think about it. Get a telescope, okay? Milady, Teresa, she got me a telescope, and it's a Celestron Power Seeker 70 AZ, and I just got all new eyepieces, a 12.5 millimeter, a 6 millimeter, the smaller of obviously the millimeter, the I guess further you can see. But I used both of those in a 12.5 millimeter last night and looked at the moon. I'm telling you, you can see craters clearly. And recently there was these UFOs above the moon and going over the moon. You can see their shadow. But then again, with CGI these days, we don't know. It's so hard to tell what's real and not real, people. Again, if you're out there and you're listening, I really, really appreciate it. Thanks a lot. If you're driving home, you had a bad day, come on into the Johnny Thomas podcast, and I'll do my best to make your day a little better. Okay, I have Lyme's disease myself for years. It's been brutal on me. Actually, today, I have a light headache and some cramps, and that happens all the time, but I'm not dragging anybody down. I'm staying positive, and that's hard to do in this world, isn't it? Stay positive, because they just keep on taking from us, folks, don't they? And we deserve to have a little give back, a little payback, is what I'm thinking. First of all, with the moon, that's why. And I believe that it's a spaceship. I really do, because without a doubt, if you really investigate the moon, folks, don't call me crazy. Don't think I'm crazy. I'm just going by what I read and what I see on YouTube and have researched. They don't want us to know what's going on in the moon, and so the moon was made by a civilization that's way, 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 way ahead of us. Okay, the Atlanteans is what I believe, that they left the planet. Okay, and the Anunnaki. Between those two, the Anunnaki gods from Sumeria, you can look it up yourself and research it, came here about 450,000 years ago to mine gold from the planet because their planet was in peril. The ozone layer was going to burn up their planet, so they searched around and looked for a planet that had a lot of gold. They found Earth, came down. But I believe that they came to mine the gold, and some way they pulverized the gold and spread it into their atmosphere to fix their protecting the planet from the ozone layer. And the working class of the Anunnaki, the Igigi, who were on the moon and at Mars. Research that yourself. It's in the Bible. It's written. The Igigi were digging gold for over 200,000 years, I believe, which is a long time. And I'd be pissed. And they rebelled against Enki and Enlil, the brothers of the Anunnaki. And I think the Anunnaki were the ones that put the moon there. Either them, or it could have been the Shining Ones, which are a step above, I believe, and I have to research again, the Anunnaki. The Shining Ones, El, which means shine, to shine, El, in the Bible. So the Shining Ones were the Anunnaki, I believe, were the ones that put the moon there. But then again, it's just speculation. I don't know shit about shit either, people. I'm just trying to figure out the truth and figure out why we're here, what's going on. I know we wouldn't be alive with the moon flashing behind me, which is just gorgeous. And you look at the moon and you're in love with the moon. There's something about it, isn't there? Is it just me? Something about the moon, when you look at it, you just love it. You just feel like something odd about it, something strange in the back of your mind, and you're just wondering, what the heck is going on? And now lately with all the UAP, UFO, whatever you want to call them, look at that picture of the moon. That's gorgeous. Again, welcome to the Johnny Thomas podcast, everyone. Settle in. If you're just getting home from work on this long day, let's work together to figure out what's going on as a team on the planet. Sound good to you guys? Because that's what I'm up for. I say we all fight as Earthlings and don't separate China, Russia, United States, Japan, Europe, UK. Doesn't matter. We're all Earthlings, people. And we're all one big family. But we lost our way, okay? The moon is trying to get us all back together. That's what I believe. Whatever is going on with the moon and the world is connected. The earth and the moon, of course. But lately, if you really research it, the moon, like I said, and there's so much data on the moon. You can listen to live feeds from the astronauts. Edgar Mitchell Listen to what Edgar Mitchell, sorry, God bless you, sir. God bless you. And who recently passed. Thank you so much for all your hard work. But he blatantly said, I mean, there's other, he was to the moon, and supposedly when they first got to the moon, okay, and think about it real quick, I'll insert this. Notice that we haven't been back to the moon in 50 years with people. There's satellite spacecraft, what do you want to call it? The Sandra, the just Chandra, I'm sorry if I said it wrong. The rover, but there's no people. Because the aliens 50 years ago that were up there surrounding the crater, that's what happened. They were up, they watched us go up. It's catch 22. The astronauts can't say anything because everybody would panic. And that's what would happen, people. Everyone would panic. Because if you watch Edgar Mitchell and Buzz Aldrin, and I'm sorry about, I can't remember, Michael Collins, maybe it was, the three of them when they got back, okay, watch the interview. They look scared. They look scared, like freaked out, like they saw something that they didn't know they were going to see, which were the spaceships, people, parked on the crater. Edgar Mitchell drew pictures of it. You got to see it. Research it yourselves, people. These are the things that I'm interested in. And that's just the moon. Never mind the pyramids, Puma Punku, Namadal. It doesn't matter which pyramid does it. The pyramid of the sun, the earth, the moons, all of them. They're all over the world. Supposedly there's a black pyramid in Antarctica. And I'm telling you, think about it, folks. Think. There's a lot going on in Antarctica, because the last thing, just you hear that word, you know it's just freezing with 3 miles of ice, and that's the last place you want to go. They know that. That's why they're there. Supposedly there's meetings of the super rich people. Well, I'm going to tell you now. This is what I believe and I hope. I hope whoever built the pyramids, whoever built Namadal, the Anunnaki, the supreme beings, the shining ones, I hope they come back to this planet. That's theirs. Or maybe they're here already, but nobody knows shit about shit. It's all speculation, right? Tell me I'm wrong. That's why I say it all the time. But what I believe is, if it matters and you're out there listening around the world, they're going to come back and bitch slap everybody and say, listen, we were just on vacation. We're back now. This is our planet. You're lucky we're letting you rent it. And you're fucking it up. And that's all you're doing. Fucking each other up, fucking the planet up, the trees, everything. And we all know that, don't we? And people are going, well, it's not me. I didn't do anything. I'm saying in the general populace, people. Okay? And you know I'm right. And it's easy to be bad. It's hard to be good, isn't it? And that's what they want us to do, is be good to each other. Look at that gorgeous picture of the moon. It's freaky, the moon. And that's where they are. This is what I believe. It's speculation, but I believe they're in the moon, on the moon, wherever they are. They warned us off the moon 50 years ago because there's been no people. Research it. It's just me. I'm pretty smart last time I checked. And yeah, those are the answers that I want just about the moon. You know, it's with the tide and everything. Without that, we wouldn't be here without the moon. And let's just say they know that. They knew that however many thousands. Nobody knows exactly when, just like everything. Carbon dating and everything, I can see that. You know, first the cradle of civilization was in where Mesopotamia and Iraq, around in those areas. Then all of a sudden, Göbekli Tepe in Turkey was 13,000 years old. So people does anyone care? Linda Moulton Howe, Brian Forrester, all you guys out there kicking ass, spending your life and your time and your money, I'm sure, to go to these places because you're searching for the truth and you're searching for the answer. The answer. That's what we all want. We all want the answer, not a answer or an answer. Tell me I'm wrong. We want the answer. Now, supposedly I've heard and read in near-death experience books, which I read many when my mom passed in 95. supposedly when you pass, look at that beautiful picture of the moon behind me. When you pass, you get the answers to everything if you get lucky enough to make it to heaven. And like this one book, this lady said she was like diving into flowers and cactuses and finding out what they're all alive, and you see anything you want. You just like it's like she said it's like you're a pair of eyes, and you can go wherever you want through the whole universe, any planet, any the rings. She said she flew through the rings of Saturn, and that'd be pretty awesome, pretty kick ass. Because we all, you know what? We all just want parents. Even parents want parents. You know, most of us look at that gorgeous picture. Statue of Liberty holding up the moon, it looks like. That is just wonderful. I don't even know. This is just one of the, I think it's the 100 best moon shots I found. I thought it would be appropriate for the podcast, but yeah, people back. So Mesopotamia, Göbekli Tepe, see all these places, and all those places. They're like, who did it with their car? They got like Linda Moulton House said they got like 5% of it dug up. Only 5 in these circles, weird circles with all these massive tons. All the megaliths around Easter Island. What the F is that, everyone? Easter Island. Look, you just drive your car and go to work, and you got kids, and you're just saying, just make your bed. Eat your breakfast, eat your vegetables. What about Easter Island? Oh, yeah, I saw that with the big statues. Okay, great, thanks. Look at that picture of the moon. But none of it would be possible. It's all connected, just like one consciousness. Sorry, I said it wrong, but that's all we are, people. And we got separated, segregated, whatever you want to call it, dispersed unaccordingly throughout the planet. When the plan was, we got separated. Plan, we got to get back. Like this. All of us. Because just think, people, what a planet it would be if we were all Earthlings, which we are, kicking ass, taken care of, are you ready? Our planet. So the moon, the sun, the stars, everything would be in unison. And I believe the Police have an album called Synchronicity. God, I'm on fire tonight, aren't I, folks? I'm feeling good. But yeah, synchronicity as a race. That's what we're looking at. That's what Sting was trying to say. Synchronicity. One breath, one flow. You will know synchronicity. Thank you so much, Sting. I just realized that now as I was speaking, even though I knew it was great before, but now I have a whole new meaning because that's what the whole point is. Imagine the whole world in synchronicity all the time together. I'm hoping that's the point. Sting, call me. Let me know, Shoot me an email. johnballow2013@gmail.com. JOHNBALLOW. That's a me, but Johnny Thomas is a first and a middle name. And it rolls off at the tongue. Very good. It's in the store the other day. And this lady almost ran me over with her and her kids. Look at that picture of the moon. Man, that's gorgeous, isn't it? Hi. Hello up there. Almost runs me down. She goes, oh my God, are you okay? And I go, you're all right, mate. You're all right. And she goes, oh, are you Australian? And I said, and then I go, Australian, what are you talking about? I just have a question for you. Do you enjoy having 10 fingers and 10 toes? Because we could talk about that too. And she goes, oh my God, what are you, an actor? And I said, I'm sorry, I said, I try to do like impersonations, and it's nothing personal, it's just I try hard. And I said to her after that, I go, I told you just to go home and forget about this whole situation. And she just fell on her knees in the store, in the supermarket. And I left her like that. And I said, that's it, I'm leaving. I'm going home. I'm Johnny Thomas, I'm leaving. Bye-bye. She was literally crying with tears, but that's pretty funny. But yeah, the moon, check it out, people. I'm freaked out by it because what happened is either the Anunnaki, back to them again. I know I'm going off, but it's all connected. put the moon where it is. There was no moon. The ridiculous speculation that the part of Mars blew up, which is true, I believe, but it didn't hit the Earth, and there was just a nuclear war on Mars, but none of it blew off chunks of it and hit the Earth, or the moon wasn't created from the dust and the particles from all that stuff. You can look that up too. I researched that. What happened is whoever's in the moon and on the moon built the moon. Okay. And by the way, when the rocket booster came off of the Apollo 11, 15, 17, I don't know which one it was, and hit the moon, it rang like a bell. And then later on, they sent a satellite purposely just to hit the moon again. Okay? And it rang for 3 hours like a bell, so it's hollow. Which means it's a spaceship, pretty much like the Death Star in Star Wars. It seems out there. It seems really out there, folks, but it's true. I really believe that this is exactly what's happening. Because if you look at the latest UAP, UFO stuff going on over the moon, it's hard to tell because it might be CGI, but that's the thing. That's the thing that ruins it. Now, back in the day in the 50s, 40s, those photographs of UFOs, Billy Meyer, research him. Supposedly it's fake, but who knows? A lot of it that back then, he had to be a super genius to fake all those UFOs the way I see it. But especially there's one hovering over a highway and the cars are going underneath it in the high. I mean, just then he knew so much about the solar system and things that people just don't know, just like all the freaky shit going on with the moon. There's tracks up there, there's cities up there. Somebody from somewhere else is doing something. It's the only thing I can think of. Something, somebody, some entity, some way, some consciousness. We need a lot more data. And I believe, just like Gary Nolan, you super scientist, wonderful man, if I was ever meet you, I'll hug you. I'll give you a big hug as thank you for the cancer help and all the things you do. If you ever see or hear this, would love to have you on the show. A lot of people. But I believe that they put the moon here. They made the moon. The moon is artificial. Just accept it. That's where their station is. And 450,000 years ago, when the Anunnaki were here and they created us, the moon was a way station just like Mars. And that's what the cities are from. And there's like tunnels that look like, I don't know, invisible, almost invisible worm like tunnels. And they're there. They're not fake. They airbrush out a lot of stuff. Excuse me. Just like on Mars. What's his name? He's really awesome. It's Mars Moon Anomalies, and it's been on for years, and I'm down that rabbit hole a lot. But check that out. I can't think of his name, but he's awesome. He's got a cap on and glasses, I believe. But and Billy Carlson too. Just watch the podcast. I think it's Concrete Podcast when he's on there with Danny Jones, and love you too, dude. Shout out to all my fellow podcasters. But I watch the show all the time. But they were going over I think they were at Worldwide Telescope looking at the Mars rover pictures, and just there's like a tank, an army tank on Mars. It's not a rock or rocks, people. It's an army tank. It's got a gun thing, whatever it's called. If you're an army guy and you know what it's called, I can't think the gun. There's a shadow of the actual barrel of the cannon. It's a tank, some gunnery, something or other. I'd have to look and research it more, but they're not rocks. It's blown up buildings from an atomic war. People on Mars. And listen close. That's where we're from. It's so funny. You think, oh, it just what was that way older movie in the 60s? I'm thinking it was My Favorite Martian, I think it's called, if I'm not mistaken. And I'm proud of myself for remembering that. But we're the Martians, people. We were on Mars. This is what it's only speculation. It's what I believe in my heart. And there was a war, and a nuclear war, like from another race or aliens, whatever you want to call it. We're at war with Mars. It could have been the Ajiji, okay, who were the working class of the Anunnaki. Research it, look for yourself. I know that for a fact. And these warring sanctions going on all up in Mars, and there's still wars of holy wars going on for this planet because it's just a precious jewel in the middle of nowhere that has all these minerals in it: gold, iron, everything, nickel, ore, everything in Nazca. That's what the whole thing, the moon Nazca lines, people. I have a show about that too. Oh yeah, they're just runways is all they are for the spaceships to land, shave mountaintops off. And there's like geologists saying, oh, that happens naturally, just like the pyramid. Oh yeah, they had picks and a piece of copper, and they were, hey Joey, yeah, my stone's dull. You can pass me another one so I can cut a perfect laser beam, rub your finger on it, cutting edge down and stuff. No. No, it was easy. They're just sitting there drinking, having a party, just with a laser beam going zzz, cutting it all out. They could be so far advanced, they probably just thought of it. That's what it says in the Emerald Tablets. Thoth. Dude, shout out to you. Read about Thoth, Thoth, whatever you want to call him. He wrote the Emerald Tablets. He might have been the one with the moon, too, involved. And Enki and Enlil. Get those names in your head, people. The Anunnaki. All right, I'm going to leave you with that. The Anunnaki. I don't leave you hanging. But we're going to get back to it. The moon, it shouldn't be where it is. There's cities on the moon. Everything they say about the moon, it's a spaceship. People get it. It was put here, and that's why it doesn't rotate. Because that's where they are on the backside of it, and they know that, so they're smart, and they're like, well, we'll just won't rotate the moon, and they can't see us. They can speculate for thousands of years, but they have to get here. And once they get here, we're going to tell them, don't come back. Yeah, we'll let you play in the sand, bring a few rocks back to Earth, but don't come back. Don't colonize out here. The Galactic Federation won't allow it. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for listening to the Johnny Thomas podcast. I will return. Thank you so much, everyone out there all around the world. Come on in, subscribe, leave a like, hit the bell. You know what to do. Really appreciate each and every one of you. Have a great night. Bye-bye.